A German Pilsner versus a Munich Helles. The Munich Helles in question is Einbecker. Is Augustiner Lagerbier Hell. This beer is very highly rated on Beer Advocate at 93. It has an ABV of 5.2, and it is one of the oldest breweries in Munich, dating back to 1328. The taste is described as mild, sparkling, refreshingly light, delicate malt, gentle hop bitterness. The Einbecker comes from the town of Einbeck in Germany. Einbeck in Germany is in the central part of Germany, a little bit to the north, and it's one of the oldest breweries in Germany, dating back to 1378. So there's a 50-year difference between the claim dates of both of these beers, this one being 50 years older. Brauherren Pils, which is this one, is rated at 82 on Beer Advocate and has an ABV of 4.9, 32 IBU. It's a bottom fermented Pilsner. It has a classic bitter flavor, moderate malt sweetness, grassy and herbal hop bitterness, with hints of ginger, lemon, and straw. Now, when I poured both of these, when I poured the Einbecker, it produced more of a foamy head than the Augustiner, but it dissipated more quickly. So, based on this one might be the Einbecker. We can see that there seems to be a bit more carbonation in this one, which might be the Augustiner, and it retains more of a foamy head. I am expecting this one to be more bitter, and this one to be smooth and sweet. I decided to try this because I did a search on the internet for the most popular Helles in Munich, and it came up with Augustiner, more popular than Hochbräu, Paulaner, Spaten, Löwenbräu, Hackerschwa. So this one is one of the Munich 6 breweries that can sell beer at Oktoberfest, or the Wiesn. Well, enough of that. Let's just get down to tasting and see which one I think is better. I'm going to go with this one, which I'm thinking is the Augustiner. Maltiness, slightly tangy. Not too much on the hoppiness, and not much bitterness. But it's good. It's really good. I think it could use a little bit more bitterness on the finish. But it's good. It's a very good drinkable beer. If this is Augustiner rated at 93, then I would say that rating is fairly accurate. Now, let's try this one. The Einbecker. Einbecker from Einbeck Brauherren Pils. This is what the can looks like here. And there's some information on the back that you can read. Well, you won't be able to read it probably with this camera, but you can read about it. It talks about the age of the brewery, 1378, and so forth. So if this is Einbecker, let's see. Much more tangy hoppiness to it up front. In comparison with this one, there's the maltiness or the sweetness is hardly detectable. That's in comparison to this one. It's good. Does it have a hint of lemon or ginger? Perhaps. Maybe a bit more ginger than lemon. But what else? What else do they say here? Ginger, lemon, and straw. I don't know what straw tastes like. All right, I believe the last thing I said was grassy herbal hop bitterness when the camera cut off regarding this one. And I think that does match the Einbecker description. So I'm pretty sure that this is the Augustiner and this is the Einbecker. In comparison, this one is kind of weak compared to the Einbecker. And let me make sure here. Yeah, this is the Augustiner. Which is what I thought. So, this taste test isn't really blind, but they're easy to tell apart. This is an easy, drinkable beer. But that's the problem. It's too easy. Whereas this one, you get some crispness, you get some tanginess, you get some bitterness, and you get some strength to it. So as you drink more and more, as this one gets more and more watery and weaker, this one is going to last a bit longer. But the flavor of this one is better. It's got more malt in it. You can definitely tell the difference in maltiness between these two. If we say that the maltiness of this is 1, then the maltiness of this one in comparison would be maybe 0.3. If that. But if you say the hoppiness and the bitterness of this is 1, then the hoppiness and bitterness of this I'm thinking 0.4 or 5, 4.5 maybe. Of course, you're going to get more. You're going to get other beers that are more malty than both of these and more bitter than both of these. So I'm comparing these to each other, not other beers. If you say the tanginess of this is 1. That's hardly tangy at all. It might be around a 0 or a 0.1 or 0.2. Let's say 0.1. So I like tanginess, I like bitterness, and I like strength. But I also like flavor, and I like maltiness. I'm going to have to go with Einbecker. The Einbecker is going to last the more you drink of it. When you get down to this point, this one gets weaker, it starts going flat, starts warming up, it starts tasting more and more like water. Whereas this one, being stronger, tangier, crisper, and more bitter, it's going to retain its flavor a bit longer. That's why I like this one better. So, we'll do one more test here. About a 50-50 mix. This should be ideal. It's good, but but it weakened the Einbecker, as you would expect, and it tastes more like the Augustiner than it did the Einbecker. I think that I prefer the Einbecker to even the mixture of the two. But let's just see. Definitely stronger. Yeah. This is watery in comparison. So if we was to normalize this as being 1 and wateriness, then this would be about a 0.6 in wateriness. So I got to give the win to Einbecker. And I think that I just like Pilsners better than Helles, because I've done comparisons before. between Pilsners and Helles. And usually the Pilsners came out on top because they are a bit more tangy, a bit more crisp, a bit more bitter. Where the Helles are more malty. But I'm going to have to do more comparisons. I want to take this up against Hofbräu. Hofbräu is very malty up front. It's malt forward. But the finish, it finishes kind of slightly bitter. And I would really like to see how this compares to the Hofbräu. And I've compared Hofbräu and Spaten, and I like Hofbräu better. Hofbräu and Hackerschwa are the two best Helles that I've had so far. But I haven't compared either one of them against the Augustiner. So we'll have to do a comparison to see how they stack up. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.